Whether you're a brand new agent or a seasoned pro, we all need a plan in order to get where we want to go. In today's video, I'm going over business planning for a successful 2023. Business planning is something that is often overlooked in real estate, and it's a big misstep because none of us would ever go get in our car and start to drive but not know where we're going. And the same goes for our business. We need to have a plan in order to go from point A to point B. And there's a lot of us that make a mistake of, we'll go ahead and make our business plan for the following year, which is great, but then it collects dust, we lose it, it goes under a pile of papers, and we never go back to that business plan. Big mistake as well. Make your plan and then check in with that plan, I would say at a minimum once a week, ideally every few days, to make sure that you are staying on track. If this is not your first year in the business, then the first thing you're going to want to do before you dive into the planning stage is take a look back and determine what did and did not work in your real estate business in this past year. Now is the time of year that we want to be checking in to determine if something isn't working. We need to consider maybe taking that out of our business completely. Maybe some new marketing you tried didn't work out as planned, or maybe it did and you need to double down on that marketing. Take a look at what you've been doing both for marketing and for lead generation and decide what you're going to keep and then what you're going to get rid of, if anything, for this upcoming year. After you've taken a look at what you're going to keep or get rid of, or if this is going to be 2023 is going to be your first year in the business, the next step you want to take is writing down what your desired income is going to be. And we all goal set differently. So if you're the type of person who makes a huge goal and that means that will get you closer to where you actually want to be, great. Or if you're the kind of person like me who setting some hugely unrealistic goal actually is not motivating to you and you want to go for a more realistic amount, I would recommend adding just a little bit extra to that desired amount because we want to shoot a little bit higher than where we may actually land. You don't have to do anything crazy though. It really just depends on what your preference is for goal setting. Once you have that desired income number down, your next step is going to be determining what your average sale price is. And if you're brand new to the business and you're going, well, wait a minute, I don't have any sales, so how do I know what my average sale price is? Not to worry, hop into your MLS and then determine what the average sale price is for your general area. And then I would recommend taking that number and deducting $25,000 to $35,000, because when you're just getting started in the business, on average, not all the time, but the majority of the time, your sale price is going to be a little bit lower than the sale price that's average in your area. If you've been doing this for a year or longer, go back, look at your past sales, and then determine your average sale price from that figure. The next step is determining your net dollar per transaction. And by net dollar, we're gonna dive into that a little bit. I don't mean what the actual commission was from each transaction. That's your gross dollar. You need to determine what you are netting from each transaction and then take an average of that. So if you have to pay a split to your broker, or you have errors and omissions, or a broker review fee, or marketing that you've put money into, or maybe you got your client a closing gift, whatever it is, you should be tracking each transaction throughout the year to determine what your actual net is. That's after taxes as well. So basically what your actual take-home pay is, you want to calculate that number as well. If you are brand new, take that average sale price that you have just determined, and then I would recommend running a 2% commission on that. That's on the lower end for commissions, I understand that, but that will give you a conservative figure of what your net dollar take home is going to be. And then next year, you'll be able to calculate what your actual net dollar take home is. From there, you'll take that net dollar take home figure and you're just going to work backwards. Go back to what you listed for your desired income, and then take that net income number that you're going to be taking home to determine how many transactions you're going to need to complete in order to hit that desired income figure. All you're doing is working backwards here. You don't need to do any crazy math. It doesn't even need to be down to the dollar. You just want to give yourself an idea of how many transactions it will take to reach that desired income figure. From there, you're going to then determine how many conversations you need to have in order to get a transaction. And if you're a brand new agent, this is going to be a tricky one because you have no way of calculating your conversion rates yet. I would say on average for a new agent, you're looking at anywhere from 50 to 75 conversations to result in a transaction. That doesn't mean that's the case for every agent. You might have phenomenal relationships with your sphere of influence and have a much better conversion rate. Or you may just be really great on the phone, and if you're making calls and converting, then you may have a better figure. It really just depends. If you've been in the business for some time, it's pretty easy to determine how many conversations you need to have in order to actually get a transaction. But if that's not something you've been tracking, put that on your goals for this year to be able to track month after month and determine what your average conversion rate is, because that's going to tell you how many conversations you need to have. You'll get an annual figure, and then from there, you're gonna wanna break it down to a monthly figure, a weekly figure, and then a daily figure. And that daily figure is what you're actually going to want to focus on. I know for myself, I need to have 4 to 5 conversations about real estate 5 days a week in order to meet the numbers for my desired income. That's something that I've been tracking for years though. No worries if you haven't. I didn't do it for my first 5 or 6 years in real estate. Just start being mindful of it now and tracking so that you can get an idea of how many people you need to have a conversation with on a daily basis in order to meet your numbers. The next thing to think about is how you're going to get clients and or maintain clients. So if you've been in the business a little while and you have some current and past clients, do you have a system in place for client retention? If the answer is no, that's something that I would add to your goals list. If the answer is yes, how's that system working? Does it need any tweaking? If you're brand new to the business, this is the time you want to decide now what you're going to be doing for next year to get clients. Put everything into action now. Real estate is one of those businesses where what we're doing today will pay off 60, 90, sometimes 120 days down the road. So now is not the time to just take off for the holidays and say, the year is spent. Now is the time, if you don't have a lot of business, to be planning and implementing your systems for a successful 2023. There are so many different lead generation avenues out there, and it really is a personal decision. Devote some time into thinking about what you are actually going to do and commit to on a daily basis. If the thought of door knocking, makes you break out in hives and makes you sweat like it does me, that's probably not a good one for you to take on. At the same time, if that sounds like a great plan and you're excited to have those on-the-fly conversations, add that into what you're going to be doing on a daily basis. Bottom line though, take some time, think about who you are. All of these lead generation ideas that are out there, they all work, every single one of them. But they don't work for everyone because we all have different personalities and different strong suits. So just think about what your strong suit is and then pick your lead generation options based off of your strengths. Next, for your business planning, you want to think about your branding and your marketing. Do you need to make any changes? Do you want to make any changes to the marketing that you've been sending out for the past year? Or if you're a brand new agent, do you have a brand? Do you have certain colors, a logo, fonts that you like to use? I don't think that this is, a deal breaker if you don't, but I do think long term there needs to be some type of thought process that goes into your brand and subsequently the marketing that you're sending out, whether it's to your sphere, whether it's past clients, or if you're starting to farm a new neighborhood in the new year. Think about what you want to represent you, because that's what's going to be going out to the public. What do you want people to see? And this can be an ongoing process. It doesn't have to be a one and done, and it does take a lot of thought. But again, now is the time to be putting those wheels in motion of, do I need a logo? Maybe you don't want a logo, you just want to use your brokerage logo. Not a problem, but you need to make those decisions this time of year so that you aren't spending time on that come January when you're generating business and you've got clients coming in. One of the best things that a business plan does for real estate agents is give you a roadmap of where you're going. You've got to know what you need to do on a daily basis, day after day, week after week, in order to hit your goals at the end of the year. While you're doing this business planning, don't forget about doing some personal planning as well. This whole idea of work-life balance, I'm not a huge believer in it. Sometimes you're going to be working more than you are handling your personal life. And sometimes you're going to be able to put your family first and be able to spend that time with them or take care of them or what it is that you want to do personally. But having it be, this 50-50 split day after day, I just don't think that it's realistic. But I do think it's important for us to write down what our personal goals are. That could be something as simple as you want to have a weekend away with your family, or you want to read 3 books that have nothing to do with business. Whatever it is for you, make sure that you write those goals down as well while you're doing your business planning, because the important part is that you need to be able to carve out time to also accomplish your personal goals. And if those aren't written down, I am absolutely guilty of this. I'll write all my business stuff down and then personal's just out the window. Nothing gets done, and then you arrive at the end of the year and go, wow, I really didn't take a vacation, or I didn't read that book I wanted to read, or I didn't go, to the driving range once a week like I wanted to. It's all about writing those goals down, both for business and your personal life, so that you can make sure that you are carving out time each week to accomplish what it is that you want to get done. We can't work 24/7 as real estate agents. We border on that. It is nonstop. And if we don't make time to accomplish the things we want to accomplish personally, we're definitely going to be facing burnout, and that is not something that you want to do. You don't want to go down that path. I hope you found this helpful. Please take the time to sit down, make your business plan for next year so that you've got a map of where you want to go. Write down to day by day, and then build up in terms of month by month so that you accomplish your goals in the coming year. If you have any questions about making your business plan for 2023, or you want to have a quick strategy session, I'd be happy to offer you 30 minutes of my time. If you need some help writing out your business goals, drop me a comment below. And as always, I hope you take care until next week.